After the first round of elections, which showed a significant advantage over Vladimir Zelensky Petro Poroshenko, more and more experts say that to win back such backlog current president will be very difficult. Leonid Kuchma, who advocated closer economic ties with Russia, won the election thanks to the support of the Crimea and the east of the country, which at times reached 90%. While Leonid Kravchuk relied on the voters of western and central Ukraine. In the end, the 2010 elections, when fighting for the presidency, Yulia Tymoshenko and Viktor Yanukovych have shown that a significant increase in rating is possible. Then the leader of Batkovshchina has lost, but managed to increase the difference in votes in his support by 20%. Analysis BBC News Ukraine showed that the vast majority of presidential candidates who won the election were not the nominees of the government. Second, only in a few cases the difference between the candidates that went to the second round was more than 10%. But the fact is that candidates, having received second place in the first round, managed to increase their performance by 25–40%. The absolute record so far for French President Jacques Chirac, who increased the support of more than 60%. In the first round, Chirac received 20%. His opponent became sensationally right-wing politician Jean-Marie Le Pen, while the socialist and the head of the French government of Lionel Jospin unexpectedly fell in the second round. The explanation for these results lay in the person of Le Pen. The French, and not only they, feared the coming to power of the nationalist. Concern about the success of Jean-Marie Le Pen expressed by leaders of different countries, and opponents of Jacques Chirac urged voters to vote for him as the lesser evil. The mayor of Sibiu, the representative of the Christian Liberal Alliance Klaus Johans in the first round of voting received more than 30% of the vote. His rival, Prime Minister Victor Ponta, supported by the Social Democratic Party, won more than 10%, receiving just over 40%. However, the election campaign between the first and second round of voting has changed the situation in favor of Mr. Iohannis, who was able to attract the support of foreign Romanians. In addition, become aware of the facts of corruption leading figures of the Social Democratic Party. The Prime Minister also was criticized for a controversial amendment to the Penal Code, which allowed not to lose the mandate of the Deputy of Parliament after the transition to the other party. Petro Poroshenko, who in Soviet times was the first secretary of the Communist Party of Moldova, then chairman of the Moldovan parliament in the elections in 1996, ran as an independent candidate and won the office at the time of the president, Mircea Snegur. The victory went to Poroshenko in particular, thanks to the support of the left parties, who in the first round had good results, and also the commitment of the Russian-speaking population of Moldova. Pedro Pablo Kuczynski, who headed the government of Peru in 2005–2006, won the daughter of former President Keiko Fujimori with a minimum result of 50.1%. Polls before the second round testified to the victory Lady Fukar. But before the second round of the popularity of Keiko Fukui decreased. Many began to fear that she will continue the authoritarian policies of his father, sentenced to prison for human rights violations and murder. In addition, between the first and second rounds appeared information about the fact that the US is investigating the case against one of the sponsors of election Mrs. Fumi. In the first round of voting, first place was won by the incumbent President Abdoulaye Wade is about 35%. His rival, former Prime Minister Macky Sall, is more than 26%. The elections were accompanied by numerous protests and clashes between opposition and pro-government forces, which resulted in the death and injury of people. For the post of president of the country fought two independent candidates, the diplomat and international lawyer Danilo Turk and former Prime Minister of Slovenia and former Foreign Minister Alojz Petrel. His victory was considered a surprise. All the polls indicated the advantage of the former Prime Minister Petrel. The success was possible because he was supported by voters of other opposition candidates, in particular, Liberal Miti Gaspari, who took third place with a score of 20%. The winner of the election, Andrei Kiska, took advantage of his reputation as a political newcomer, is not tainted by accusations of corruption. He was not a member of the Communist Party, had a reputation as a successful businessman, and stated a desire to overcome corruption in the country.